Hey Swishers, welcome to another episode of your Daily Swish. Okay, we have had a lot of things happen from last week to over the weekend to a lot of rank changes. Okay, I know that I told you from the get-go that there's going to be a lot of changes. It's going to be an up and down roller coaster. It's going to be an uphill battle. I'm going to go into discussion about NC State versus South Carolina because that was a big alert for a lot of fans and for the NCAA rankings. Okay, I don't know if you noticed a change right over here with on your screen with the Power 10 so far. And I don't know if you watched that game between NC State and South Carolina. That game was just a okay. I know a lot of people were biting their nails and they were freaking out a lot over this game. I know I was, and I don't know about you guys, but I know I was for sure because I was one of those people that's like, South Carolina's got this in the bag. You know, NC State is only ranked number 8 right now. As South Carolina ain't got nothing to worry about. Dawn Staley knows what she's doing. She knows how to operate her team. She knows how to lead them. But it didn't seem like it in this case when they went against NC State. Now, South Carolina does come back over the weekend with a win, but if you look over here on the rankings, okay, it wasn't enough to keep them number 1. Okay. So with that being said, how did NC State do it? Okay. What was their key components to the game? Okay. What impressed us the most? Okay. And this is what I had to say. Okay. NC State got stops when necessary. Okay. They were holding back the top 3 scores for South Carolina, which is something that you want to do. You want to make it hard for those top scorers. Okay. You don't want them to get points because you know that if you let them go, game's done. It's over, right? Okay. NC State didn't allow that to happen at all. Okay. So they held back the top 3 scorers, which was Aaliyah Boston, Destiny Henderson, and Zia Cook. Okay. They limited second chance opportunities. Okay. And they had more control in the paint. Okay? I don't know if you noticed that, but there were some mistakes that South Carolina had that NC State was able to pick up on and transition really well to defeat South Carolina. Okay. Offensively, NC State, they relied on a starting lineup as 4 players finished in double figures. Okay. But here's another thing about NC State. Okay. They waited patiently and capitalized on the mistakes that South Carolina had. Okay. NC State only had 9 turnovers, while South Carolina has 11. What does that tell you? Okay. That tells you that South Carolina was making little mistakes here and there, and NC State was able to be like, oh, you made a mistake? Guess what? I'm going to take that mistake, and I'm going to score on you. Okay, and that's exactly what they did. Another thing that helped progress NC State to win over South Carolina was their free throws. Okay, so you had South Carolina, okay, that was 4 off of 11. They had plenty of chances to hit those free throws, but they didn't. And NC State, okay, took over the free throws with 10 for 12. Okay, so again, what does that tell you? Okay, NC State was able to pick up on their mistakes and able to outscore and take over South Carolina. Okay, they probably had a little bit more motivation too because I mean this is South Carolina was a number 1 team. Okay, you as a team you get a little bit more motivated because you're going against the number 1 in the nation. Okay, and you want to take them down. You want to embarrass them. Okay, they didn't embarrass them too bad, but you know they did take over a win and threw everybody into shock. Okay, so that was a great win for NC State. Now, South Carolina, like I said, they do come back over the weekend with a win over Iowa State. Okay, with a score of 83-65. Okay, so they were able to come back and take a win and put themselves at number 3 in the Power 10 rankings. Okay. So you have, in other news, okay, so you have UConn, okay, still at a standstill with games because of somebody in the facility testing positive, okay, and so they got to kind of quarantine a little bit, play it safe, and so their season's going to resume December 15th, okay. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how UConn does because I myself am a diehard UConn fan. UConn! Okay, I know some of y'all are probably thinking like, man, you're just a UConn fan because everybody else is and they always win and blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. I have been a UConn fan since the days of Rebecca Lobo. Okay, so that tells you I go way back for UConn. I didn't just join recently. Nah, nah. Don't look at me like that. Okay, I have been a UConn fan since the days of Rebecca Lobo, and you know that Rebecca Lobo is a legend. Okay, so with that being said, I really can't wait to see UConn dominate the floor and see what happens with UConn. Okay. Now, Baylor lost over the weekend as well. Okay, with a final score 78-73. Okay. I think the reason for this is the fact that you don't have strong players such as Dee Richards out on the court. Okay. If we remember, Richards has been out with a spinal injury and trying to recover. But recently we have heard that she is back out on the floor practicing, just practicing. Okay. Her spinal injury in the beginning left her with paralysis in her legs, and now she's able to walk again. She's able to move, and I think Baylor is just waiting to see what happens when she fully recovers. And all the prayers go out to her. I love watching Dee Richards. I mean, she's just a freaking beast. Okay, if you are a true NCAA fan, you would give props to Dee Richards as well. She is a freaking beast. I mean, she can dominate on both sides of the court, both offensively and defensively. Okay, she is an animal. She is a true bear. Okay, see what I did there? Ha! Okay, so Baylor may be without star player Dee Richards, okay, who's recovering from that spinal injury. Okay, but they still have a resilient team. They're still able to step in strong with players such as Caitlin Bickle, okay, your junior forward, and she has been stepping it up for the Lady Bears, and so has Nalissa Smith. Okay, Bickle had her first double-double over the weekend with 14 points and 11 rebounds, and then you had Smith with 25 points to win over Central Arkansas, 82-37. So they kind of made up for it too. Okay, so they had a loss, but then they came back with a win. So congratulations to the Lady Bears. I'm proud of y'all. And so I hope to see more great, amazing action from the Lady Bears. Okay. Then we had Stanford crushes through Washington with a score of 50-83. Okay, that seemed like a blowout game, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Just throwing it out there. Okay. So congrats to Stanford. Okay. And it puts them at number 1. Okay. Can you believe it? Stanford is the new number 1 at the Power 10. Now, can they hold on to that is the question. Okay. I believe they can, and I believe we're going to see them in the Final Four. Okay. And I believe that we're going to see Baylor. These are just my predictions. Okay? I believe we're going to see Stanford. We're probably going to see UConn. We're probably going to see South Carolina. And then it's going to be an uphill battle between Louisville and Baylor. Okay. So Louisville defeats UT Martin over the weekend with a score of 67-85. Okay. Seems like another blowout game. Okay. And then you have Oregon. Okay. You got to remember, Oregon does not have Sabrina Ionescu anymore. Okay, so with that being said, you got these players that got to really step it up and take the lead for Oregon. Now, we did see them in the Final Four last year. Okay, are we going to be able to see them again in the Final Four? Okay, so with that being said, Coach Graves has definitely shown that his team is one of the top three three-point shooting team out there. Okay. And it definitely showed this weekend with Taylor Mikesell, who shot 8 for 10 from the three-point line, making her debut for the Ducks this weekend. Okay. So outstanding player. I can't wait to see more from her. And she had an amazing debut, had 28 points overall. Okay. She is a transfer, and she definitely made her name known for the Ducks. She definitely wore that uniform proud over the weekend. Okay. Then you had Sedona Prince, who dominated in the paint with 17 points. Okay. So awesome job to Oregon. I hope to see more from them as well. Okay. Now let's go over your Power 10. Okay. Who's our top 10? So here we go. Number 1, Stanford. Number 2, Louisville. Number 3, UConn. Number 4, North Carolina State. 5, South Carolina. 6, Arizona. 7, Baylor. 8, Oregon. 9, Kentucky. 10, Texas A&M. Okay, so hopefully we could keep this consistency. Okay, but it could all change in the following week. Okay, so keep up to date here on the NCAA's Power 10. Keep watching on TV. Okay, and stay tuned here to the WNBA Daily Swish, where I give all your updates. I give all your information. I keep up with scores. If you haven't joined my Facebook group yet, make sure you get onto Facebook. Look for WNBA Daily Swish group. Get in there, join. Okay, I give you all access information, posts, news, updates, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have some friends that are WNBA fanatics, NCAA women's college basketball fanatics, get them in here. What are you doing just sitting there? Get them here. Okay? So that's all I have for today for your WNBA Daily Swish. And like I said, if it ain't hot, it ain't a swish.